Hello everyone, this is JS Reviews, and today we'll be taking a look at the second studio album from Chicago-based pop-punk band Knuckle Puck. The album is called Shapeshifter, and it is their second album and the follow-up to 2015's Copacetic. This album was released on October 13th on Rise Records. So, Knuckle Puck, in my opinion, are one of the few small rays of sunshine in a dark gray world that is modern pop-punk music. And in fact, their first album, Copacetic, is my favorite modern pop-punk album of all time, and these guys are definitely in my top 3 favorite modern pop-punk bands. In fact, they might even be number 1. That video will come out at some point, though, so if you really want to know what my other favorite pop-punk bands are, just stay tuned for that. I did a track review for the first single off of this new album, Shapeshifter. The song was called Gone. I did a track review of it. If you'd like to see that video, I'll put a link to that in the description, so you can go watch that after you're done watching this video, of course. So, I was really excited for this album. This is definitely one of my most anticipated albums of the year, and boy did it deliver. I will say I don't think it was as good as their first album, but I didn't expect it to be as good as their first album, which is why I can enjoy this more. Fellow YouTuber Infinity on Hannah was kind of disappointed with this new album, but I really don't see why. It was really what I expected it to be, honestly, and I'm very pleased. You guys. So some overall themes with this album. The main theme of this album is actually that people change and how that affects relationships. That's kind of the overall theme of this album, that people change and relationships can be affected by that. And that's hence the name Shapeshifter. So you're kind of being a shapeshifter in the way you change and stuff like that. So yeah, that's probably the overall theme of this new album. There are some other themes on here as well. We'll get to those when I go through the track listing. And I will say this, that the first 6 songs on this album sound like Knuckle Puck, like the Knuckle Puck that we know and love. Well, then the last 4 songs get more ambient and experimental and more emo as the album fades out. And I really enjoy that. So let's go ahead with that out of the way. Let's go ahead and get right into the track listing. The first song, called Nervous Passenger, was a great way to open up this album. It opens up with some ambient guitars, and then it has a voice from the CTA L train in Chicago, which is kind of their subway system. I live 3 hours from Chicago. I'm very familiar with that voice, and I'm like, whoa, I know that voice. I took that train to the All Time Low concert a couple months ago. So, and I've been on that train quite a bit as well. I did take it to the All Time Low concert. They aren't the first band to actually use that voice. Rise Against used that voice in one of their songs, Chamber the Cartridge. Take Me Away, I'm a Nervous Passenger, as this song goes ahead and says. It's the perfect way to opening up with you're nervous about relationships and things like that, and you're really excited to see someone. Yeah, that's really how this album opens up, and I really enjoy that. Then the second song, Twist, I think was initially going to be my least favorite, but with repeated listens, it's definitely grown on me a lot. I will say it's still one of the weaker songs on the album. The lyrics don't really do it for me on this one. However, of all the songs on the entire album, I think that this song sounds the most like Copacetic as far as the instrumentation goes, and that's definitely a great thing. The guitars definitely hit home with me here. There are definitely a lot of unique chord structures in this song as well that I really enjoy. Then we get to track 3, Double Helix. It was the second single released before the album dropped, and I really enjoyed this one at first listen. I do think I've kind of fallen out of love with it because I think the chorus is a little too repetitive, but that's kind of a nitpick, and I think with more time I'll enjoy it more. However, I love the analogy they make with DNA. This song is about hating your father and not wanting anything to do with him and not wanting to be any part of him, saying, I don't want your double helix, like, I don't want your DNA. Double helix, by the way, is the DNA structure, and you're pulling at the strands. Can I rewrite my code because I really don't want to have any part of you with me? And it's just really angry toward your father. This song was just the perfect lyrical representation of how you could put that into song form, and I absolutely love it. This is one of my favorites on the album. Like I said, the chorus is a little repetitive, however, I think it will grow on me with time. Then we get to the 4th song, Gone, and I really enjoyed this one. I did a track review of it. I loved it then. I still love it now. The word shapeshifter appears at the end of the song, which is the title of the album, saying, you're a shapeshifter, you're never going to get the girl. He's talking about himself, about how he hates that he changed and he had to move on, and it just sucks. Because when I saw you, I lost you all over again is another line that really hits me in this song, and I really enjoy that. I love the chorus. This is a great song, definitely one of my favorites. Then the 5th song, Everyone Lies to Me, as I think one of the more interesting ones on the album. I really like the lyrical message. It's kind of on the same lines as Double Helix, where they're talking about how they reference the word boomer, and it's kind of talking about baby boomers and how maybe Joe Taylor, the lead singer of this band's father, was a baby boomer, and he doesn't really enjoy that opinion and stuff, and the whole baby boomer thing. And this definitely, the anger about that really shows in this song as well. And I like how at the beginning of it, how they use more like spoken aggressive vocals rather than sung, which I think is something that Knuckle Puck have yet to do, except in the song Pretense, which is one of my favorite Knuckle Puck songs. Pretense was on their first album. This song, I think I will say, is another one of the weakers on the album. I think Twist and this one, I think, are the two weakest on the album. However, I still do enjoy both of those songs, and especially this one. I do really enjoy the chorus on this one. The guitars on the chorus really hit me, especially the lead lines there. I love that. The sixth song is called Stuck in Our Own Ways, and this song also reminds me of Copacetic. It reminds me of Swing, which is another one of my favorite Knuckle Puck songs. Every song on their first album is one of my favorite Knuckle Puck songs, I gotta say. That album is flawless, 10 out of 10, go check it out. But anyway, back to Stuck in Our Own Ways. This song is about the use of drugs and how it really doesn't change anything, how we're still stuck in our own ways. If you really read the lyrics to this song, it really will hit you, and I really like the chorus and the main riff on this song as well. The main riff is really just a classic Knuckle Puck riff, and I would love to see this song live. I could see everyone just kind of vibing out to it. It would be great. I'd love to see these guys live too. I've yet to do that. So yeah, Stuck in Our Own Ways, another one of my favorites. Then we get to the seventh song, Want Me Around, and this is kind of the turning point of this album. This is kind of where things get more emo and experimental, which I really enjoy that, other than just the pop punk greatness that Knuckle Puck are known for. And I really enjoy this part of the album. I think that tracks 7, 8, 9, and 10 might be my 4 top favorites on the album. I absolutely love it. On this first one, Want Me Around, however, this was the third single released before the album, and I only like to listen to 2 singles, so I did not listen to this one prior to the album. However, I do think this is probably my overall favorite on the album. I just love the chorus, how it's just so easy to sing along to and just bop your head. The second time you hear the chorus on here, you will really just love singing along to it and bopping your head. The verses are really great as well. I love the guitars on here. They're just so catchy. I love the riff on here. This one's probably my favorite on the album, I gotta say. This is kind of just a song about, it's kind of one of those I Miss You songs, which is kind of typical, and I love the lyrics on here, especially the chorus lyrics. Read along with the lyrics when you listen to this whole album, and it will really just take you on a great journey. Then we get to track 8, which is called Conduit, and I think that this one's also another great one. It's definitely the most laid back on the album. I think that it's kind of one giant crescendo is what this song is, and it's definitely the most unique one on this album. I really do enjoy Conduit quite a bit. I like the chorus, how it says, "If all you are is beneath the surface, then how come it's so hard to be a conduit?" That really hit me really hard. Definitely listen to the lyrics, read everything. I love the ambient opening guitar riff on this one. It has some goosebump-inducing guitar riffs on this song. And then we get to track 9 called Wait, which is probably my second favorite on the album. This one and Want Me Around are definitely going to fight each other for which one's my overall favorite on this album. Wait, I love how it opens up with the acoustic guitar and then it really crashes into a great song. I love the chorus. I also like how they make a reference to the red line on this song, which is a line on the CTA L train in Chicago. And I didn't mention this earlier, but on the album cover is the CTA L train, which is the picture in the middle of the shapes in the album cover here. I do enjoy the album cover. A lot of people don't, but I actually love the album cover we have here. So Wait is another great song. The riffs are great. I love the ambient guitars on this one. You Always Felt Like Home is probably my favorite lyric on this entire album, and that line is repeated throughout in this song. However, it's kind of the center of everything that this song is about, and I just love that. So then we get to track 10, the closing track, which is called Plastic Brains. Now this song was the perfect closer to this great, great album. I gotta say, it's kind of just sums up everything that the album has done so far. It's kind of goes back to the theme of changing, and it about changing and how that kind of messes up relationships and how it really sucks sometimes when people change. And I've definitely gone through something like that where one of my best friends in middle school is actually someone that I really don't like anymore because they changed and I don't like who they are anymore. And I can really relate to this final song and this whole entire album, really, except for maybe Double Helix because I love my dad. But this final song is just a phenomenal way to close out the album. So yeah, great. I love the opening riff and how it kind of closes with a very similar riff toward that, the ambient riff at the beginning and at the end. So yeah, great album by Knuckle Puck, I gotta say. Not as good as Copacetic, but that was to be expected. I absolutely adore this new album. I'm going to be listening to it a lot. It's definitely going to be in my top 10 albums of the year when I do my top 20 albums of the year video. It was originally going to be 15. However, there are so many great albums, and I don't know if I can really cut it in 15, so I gotta do 20, I'm afraid. And that's going to be a lot of work, but I can't wait to do it. It's going to be glorious. So yeah, Knuckle Puck Shapeshifter, a great album. Definitely probably my favorite pop punk album of the year so far. This and the new Neck Deep album are definitely fighting each other for the best pop punk album of the year. But I think I'm kind of leaning toward Knuckle Puck right now. Great album by Knuckle Puck, and I think I'm going to give this album a 4 out of 5. So, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new here. Definitely check out my older videos as well. If you like this one, you'll definitely like those. Definitely check out this album if you haven't already, and check out everything Knuckle Puck have ever done. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.